Good evening, everybody. Hope you're happy and well. You are tuned into Amigos Racing Team. And tonight we bring you a special event. Not the McGann Racing Series, not the Roulette Race mini-series, but an even more spectacular show. We have for you tonight a team versus team special event with the Amigos Racing Team's top drivers versus Black Country Racing eSports. We've had a couple of teething issues, mainly because one, I was trying to stream on the wrong channel, and two, we found we had a couple of drivers too many flying around somewhere. So we should be getting underway very soon. If you're new to the Amigos Racing Team YouTube channel and what we do, we'll be putting a link in the description at the end of this video, so you have a chance to get involved with our wonderful race community, celebrating Christmas with over 600 members, which is a tremendous achievement. So, what we've got on for you tonight, we have a qualifying and sprint race to start off with, followed by a feature race later. We've got a short qualifying session, 20 minutes for a sprint and 40 minutes for a feature event. Starting here in the Styrian Hills of Spielberg, Austria. You find us at the Red Bull Ring. Tonight's drivers are ART Zeno, who you can see on track at the moment, currently burning off his penalty there. Also representing the Amigos Racing Team, we have DM Charles, Diovis, Ryan is bad, Hockers, Seth F1, and Lango, with some wonderful liveries, it must be said, from our very own Elite Digits. Elite, if you're watching, another tremendous job. Thank you very much. As always, we really appreciate your interaction with the channel. Any comments on the channel, liking the video, considering a subscription to the channel would be super helpful. So please interact with us as much as you can. It really helps us get our channel out there and push the community. One like on the video already. Thank you so much, Nalinsky. Best of luck to everyone watching. Go ART, thank you very much. And Lankster, good evening everyone. Sorry I couldn't make it. Lankster, I think, would have been a tremendous addition to our team. Nonetheless, I do think we have a very strong lineup indeed. So, started the race now. You can see we're starting here, our 10-minute qualifying session. From what I recall, we have 2 times tyre wear and 3 times fuel usage. I'll just double check that to be sure. Oh, 2 times fuel and 3 times tyres. And drivers can use any compounds they like for sprint race, as long as they start on their qualifying compound for the fastest lap time. This will then determine the grid for the feature race, which will be taking place at Lago Maggiore, and they will be able to use any sets of tyres they like, as long as they have at least 2 different compounds. So rather than having this weird landscapey view here, we're going to jump on board with our driver at the front of the pack here, DM Charles. Normally racing for the ARC team, but tonight chipping in for Amigos following the departure of ART Lankster, who couldn't make it tonight. You see Charles driving the Corvette, not the most common choice for the for the Red Bull Ring. Of course, so much more of a handling focused track, but then of course you do have some really long power zones there, namely the home straight, the first straight there, and the top straight after turn 3. So power could come into the mix here, but with this tight middle sector as well, it really could go any way. So we're going to watch this. We'll run on board with Charles for a little bit here as he goes on to set his first lap in the Corvette, braking just after the 100-metre mark. Being ever so careful to dodge that yellow sausage shop on the inside and running slightly wide, but keeping his right 2 wheels within the red and white line, so hopefully not incurring a penalty on his run up the hill here, through the little left-hand seat, officially known as turn 2, and then up into the hairpin, or the headboard, the 90 right there at turn 3. Lays, good evening, SuperSquid, good luck boys. Thank you very much, Lays. Really glad to have your support as always on the channel. Thank you very much. So Charles making his way across the top of the circuit and then into Roush corner. Maintains lots of momentum there on the exit there, and now into the double left, marking the end of the second sector and the start of the third. Oh boy, this is Roush corner, the other one's Schloss corner. We get these wrong all the time. Come on, Squid, remember your corners. Oh no, that one is Roush. It's called Pirelli though, isn't it? Here we go, yeah, Pirelli and Wurth. Now heading towards Rindt. Second to last corner here. Going to maintain lots of momentum, but make sure you keep it within the lines on the exit, which he just about does. Piling into the last corner, running nice and wide on the exit, but again keep within those red and white rumble strip lines for the track limits. And he sets the pace with a 128.4. Zino just behind on a 128.5. We've got an ART top 5 for the time being. You might see this shake up as our nemesis Clay Duchy heads round to complete his first lap. We know he is quick, but I've got no idea about the rest of the Black Country boys, so we'll have to see how they do. We can see if we jump down back, they're all very close and slipstream each other, and it seems it is helping them out quite a lot. Got Lango in the middle of that train there, representing ART, that bright flash of blue and yellow in the midst of that black and white. But so far seems they do have the dominance here as they head up that side back to qualifying. They've got a position 1, 3, 4. So they really are using that slipstream to their advantage. So let's go on board there. I thought we'll jump on board there with Lango, if we can see where he is. He's currently 13th on the list. We'll jump on board and see what things are like from his perspective in that BCR sandwich. Try and use the slipstream of one of the fastest drivers I ever had a privilege to race in ART, Clay Duchy. But as it stands, I think he's just about losing that slipstream, which really isn't going to help him if he wants to beat pursuing the Dutchman in those power zones. And again, a very good line there through that middle sector. He's already at almost a second up on his previous best, which of course we can think about as the fuel wear continues through the qualifying section. Zino going even faster now with a 128.3, an excellent time from our Dutchman at least. Let's watch Lango out as he heads for the second to last corner. He has gone a little bit wide there. He may just incur a half-second penalty. We'll have to see. Again, slightly wide there, so he might get one here as well. He's going to make it in time to cross the line. No, he has been penalised. Dutchy are going faster as well with a 128.4. There's Piero for Black Country Racing going even faster still on 128.9. Still a little way off the pace. Of course, some of our drivers still yet to pick up some speed as we've got another 5 minutes of qualifying left to go. We'll jump on board, I think, with Zino this time as he pursues DM Charles. A little bit of cockpit action here. Zino using the Supra. One of the only drivers, I think he's the only driver using the Supra for tonight's events. Most drivers seem to have picked Aston Martin, given the power buy here at Red Bull Ring and at Lago Maggiore, but the Supra, of course, an absolute rocket in a straight line. And should be a little bit better on fuel, but not with the track limits there as Zino takes his 1 second penalty, letting Charles back through. We've got Van free in the chat there. Go Amigos, rooting for you guys. Thank you very much, Van. We're glad to have your support as well. And to the 5 of you who are watching at home, I think it was 5, thank you all for tuning in. You're just in time to see our qualifying session here at the Red Bull Ring. We can see Charles and Jova going in, I think, for a fresh set of tyres. Hopefully come back out for another blast, maybe another lap or 2 here. Let's quickly see what they're up to as we have our pit lane cam here. This normally resort to our trackside commentator, Roadrunner Dan, but I've not seen him for a very long time. He's just been running away down the road, unfortunately. That's predicted Charles getting on a fresh set of racing top tyres. Not adding any extra fuel. Oh, Vanny's Voodoo. Voodoo, yes, Voodoo. I'm glad to have you in the chat then, Voodoo. I hope you're going to enjoy the show. I'll do my very best. I'm sure I have the boys will as well. Fortunately, though, not doing as well as this man here, Bonnie Val, with a 128.1, a very good time there, and with almost a triple slipstream heading up the hill. He still knocks another half a tenth off of his lap time. I think Ted's going to let him go there, doesn't impede him. I'm sure we can assume there's a fair amount of communication going on among the Black Country racers there. As make sure not to impede each other. We can see A lot of them are using the Lexus RCF, Bonneville here in the M6 BMW, Dutchy in the Mercedes AMG. He's really pushing Lango, needs him out of the way. Not sure this is a tactical decision. There's a little bit of contact there, I think, actually, from Play Dutchy. Not the most sporting of gestures, and that's almost caused Tiger Assassin to get out of shape. Quick look, you can see what's happened there. So you've got ART Lango, a little bit out of shape, heading out of the Roush corner, down towards Pirelli. Bit of a nudge there from Dutchy already. And as he hits the brakes, Dutchy's on the inside, a little bit of a dash wide. So that would be something I would investigate if I was steward for this event, but a bit of a bump and run. It's not very sportsmanlike in my books, at least. Nonetheless, Dutchy has gone to set the fastest lap of the session with a 127.7, so that's another 4/10 faster than the previous hot lap. Drivers should have time for maybe 2 more laps here as they carry on around the track. We've got a Lango going past Zino here. As it stands, it does seem to be a top 3 so far for the Black Country racing team. We've got Zino representing ART in 4th place, and Charles and Ryan just behind him in 6th and 7th respectively. Still a minute and a half to go in qualifying, so still time for anything to happen as the fuel burns off, the cars get lighter, they're a little bit more agile through the corners, carry a little bit more speed down the straights. You can see there as well, we've got Walkie 907 in the Alfa Romeo. An interesting pick here for the Red Bull Ring. Might be compromised on Lago Maggiore, but we will have to see. We've got Black Country Racing eSports in the chat as well, so good evening Black Country Racing. When I get a moment, I'll be sure to jump over to your channel and send you guys a message as well. You can see there the Black Country boys getting out of the way of one of the faster drivers there, let them set a hot lap, but I think quickly in the way to almost impede Jovis. They did manage to get it stopped on the apex there, but that might well have cost him some lap time. Maybe I'll find where Jovis is currently in the standings. He is 9th. So let's have a look at what happened there to Jovo. Really quite close on the apex, but as he's going around, you see the 3 black and white cars right on the apex, and Jovo's not really appreciating that angle very much. Unless he's heading on to start the last lap of the session. Scout down in the comments here, it's going to be spicy. Black Country didn't seem happy because he couldn't join the lobby. Yes, I think we were aware we had a couple of teething issues at the start. I think Black Country were considering our sister to drop one of our drivers who's an ARP, but eventually I think those teething issues were resolved. And we're now back on track, it seems, quite literally. So as it stands, it's still Play Dutchy in 1st place, Tucson in 2nd place. Bonnie Bow is going to be P3 on the grid for the time being. But our man here, ART Zino, representing the black and yellow in the Supra, is currently the leader for the Amigos racing team drivers. With Tiger Assassin just a 10th and a half behind in 5th place. Let's have a look. So is Zino going any faster through the middle section on his last lap? He's not, unfortunately. He's still 3/10 down. He will need a miracle to pull some more time back on his final lap. Quick check in with DM Charles. He's also heading around the last 2 corners. Is he going to gain anything out of this last flying lap session? So he crosses the line, takes the checkered flag. No improvement from him, half a 10th down. Okay, so Charles is going to be at best in 6th place for the time being. Zino remains in 4th place for the time being as well. Cuzzy, Ryan is bad, is still down in 7th place with our Thunder from Down Under, ART Seth, in 9th for the time being. We've got Diovis in P10, Hopkins in 13th, and Lango taking the last spot on the grid. So we're about to get underway here. 20-minute sprint race at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Make sure you put down in the comments who you think your winners are going to be. At least from my experience, Play Dutchy is definitely a force to be reckoned with. I'm sure he'll be lightning off the start as well in that naturally aspirated Mercedes. We've got the drivers revving up their engines already. And lights out, and we are away. Play Dutchy and Toussaint lead into turn 1. Got a Lex got the middle there. I believe that might be a Tiger Assassin. Having a look there, up the inside of Zeno. We go back down the pack just a little way. We've got there, Tosak has overtaken Zeno indeed for P1, especially got the right keyboard camera on there. And there is Tosak just ahead of Zeno. We're going to run on board there with Zeno. Is there a move going up the outside of turn 3? Maybe not. He's extra late on the brakes. He is late on the brakes. But Tiger Assassin has the inside line and will resume P4. Good exit by Zeno as Charles goes very wide. If we get back down the pack, how's Charles doing in 8th place now? So he's lost a couple of places as well, as has Ryan is bad. Jover though has moved up a little way up into 6th place, which is fantastic news. Again, we have to watch out though, the Alfa Romeo of Wolfie. It will be very nifty through the corners, and particularly so in this middle sector. A change of lead up ahead as Toussaint now overtakes Play Dutchy for P1, but I'm sure they'll be doing their best to not interfere with each other. So as we check down the grid heading out of the middle sector there, Toussaint leads, Play Dutchy 6 tenths down, Bon Evil and Tiger Assassin are right in his diffuser, and Zeno is in P5. Well, he's just about to drop Yovis from the slipstream, leaving prey to Wolfie, so we're going to check on board there with Yovis. As we run on board with the Slovenian here, going through the last corner for lap 1. The Alpha had a very good run there for the start of that last corner, but got a little bit shaky heading out of it. And it's going to cost them some time. Of course, the Alpha is a bit down on power as well, so for want of a better phrase, it could be getting absolutely monstered as they head up the hill. And to have a look at this power disadvantage, we're going to check in with DMC Charles as he tries to get past the Alfa Romeo. You see the big V8 with the Corvette there against that V6 in the Alfa Romeo. Flies past it like he isn't even there, but the Alfa may well be late on the brakes. We have to have a look. Very late on the brakes. Charles leaves the space. They both make that corner very safely, but I think we'll now have the power down on the Corvette, and indeed we do. Charles takes P7. Pepsi in the chat saying, let's go ART. That's what we want to see. And thank you, Nalitsky, pushing Zeno on. And Bradley Durden saying, Gutter couldn't make it, but rooting for the ART boys. Damn right you should be. So let's check in with Ryan is bad as he now needs to get past Wolfie. So we know this Alfa Romeo is going to be very, very handy through the middle sector. Ryan is bad, keeping a very nice line through the first left-hander and an equally good line through the second there. Of course, the drivers trying to be conscious not to burn through their tyres, make the overtakes where they can as efficiently as possible. And with a car that's based around handling like the Alfa Romeo, he's going to be squabbling through the corners. I think he wants to get there's a big V12 Aston Martin, all the revs, all the cylinders, and absolutely smoke it down the straight. So hopefully that's what he's got planned. Or maybe he might go for an early move now. See Wolfie trying to pull out across Ryan's dad. Ryan's dad is on the inside, but no, lifting off. I think maybe knowing better, he might have it up the second straight. So let's get back outside and follow Ryan's dad behind Wolfie. Here we go, up the hill. In the slipstream, he's only a tenth behind, even less now, as Wolfie does incur a half-second penalty at the exit of turn 1. Because he goes around the outside, Wolfie's on the brakes, goes through the penalty system, and they're still side by side again through that corner. But Ryan is back just about, has the space on the exit, and now he puts the hammer down, is up into P8. Now he's going to cut across Wolfie, which he does. Wolfie in the slipstream, but I don't think he's got a chance to make a move. He does move to the inside, but Ryan's back has that covered. Good move there. Well, Wolfie does go for a late dive down the inside. He's still there, but ghosting. Ryan is on the grass, and Wolfie goes through. Does Pierre go through it as well? They are side by side. We're going to check back in with these two here. Ryan is still on the inside of Pierre. Wolfie back in, trying to back him up so Pierre can go on the outside. It's a very bold move by the left, but will he make it stick for the second left-hander? We'll have to see. They're still side by side. Almost 3 corners in a row. They are going to take that right-hand kick, and I think Ryan might just have to concede here as he's urged to the left side of the track, and Pierre will take that corner, I think. Ryan trying to put alongside him. They're still almost side by side. That is not the best thing, especially when they have Ted gaining on him, as you can see from the delta on the left. But it seems that Tubby has now lost those 2 places down into P10. As you look up the hill there, we've still got a fairly close pack there from say P1 down to P6. We have a look there from Toussaint, who has incurred a 1 second worth of penalty overall. We check back from him, we can see a long train of drivers. They're still within the slipstream as Dutch has been given a little bit of a push, needs him to get a move on. Having raced with Dutch, I know he's not one for waiting in the background. As in the background, Charles goes wide again, sideways and almost losing it, rejoining the track, but keeps it in a straight line. However, That's cost him a number of positions, losing to Wolfie and Piero at least, and now we've got Ryan Bad in slipstream as well. It might be worth him letting him go just to try and get that dirt off of his tyres. He's late on the brakes. Is there contact? There may just have been a shade there of contact. Ryan Badger goes through, Charles down into P10, and we have Seth all sorts of sideways out of Roushing, P11, Lango 12, Hoppers in 13, and Ted MC, not sure what's happened to him, but he finds himself at the very back of the pack. We've had a move here from Hoppers, in fact, putting him down to 14th, but he was a little bit further up the pack, if I remember rightly. See if we can find out what happened to him earlier in the race. As it stands though, we've rejoined P1. Play Dutchy has retaken the lead from his teammate there, Toussaint, down in P2. We've got Bonival in third, Tiger Assassin up in fourth. But we have the Flying Dutchman, ART Zino, right behind him. Let's jump back on board there with Zino. As he needs to head after the Tiger Assassin. Of course, Toyota and Lexus being the brother-sister companies, but I'm sure no love lost when it comes to the racetrack. It seems like even with the gruntness Toyota, you just can't quite make the gains on the Lexus. Of course, in the tow, the BMW, the Mercedes up in front. Let's jump outside and see how he handles this corner. It's a bit of a late move. Tiger Assassin moves across in the braking zone. Again, not a move that I find particularly sporting in racing. And as Ryan's back getting very sideways on the exit curve there at turn 3. Maybe it's worth having a little think about where these things are appropriate. We know there's been a lot of controversy in recent motorsport, of course, regarding aggressive driving and driving standards. And over at Amigos, at least, it's something we do pride ourselves on. We ask all our members to check how they drive, to make sure they don't make any aggressive or dangerous moves. And I would personally count moving across the braking zone as being one of them. But I suppose all rules up to interpretation. You can ask Michael Matthew himself. I'm sure it would be a detailed response. He's not out hiding it. But for the meantime, it will be Zero still in P5 with Dionis in 6th, being chased down by the pair of Wolfie and Piero. As Joe goes very wide, they're almost both of his inside, but Joe may well get a penalty for running extremely wide at second to last corner. And he does indeed get a half-second penalty, but if we check in with Charles, we've got a big sandwich here for the next positions on the grid. Charles goes around Piero. Piero's very late on the brakes, it seems, or Charles was a little bit early. Hoping for a cutback. Piero maybe has nudged Ryan Bad slightly wide there off the track. I didn't quite see it. We'll check in a moment. But Charles going to try and roar past the Lexus up the straight. 2 V8s are very different times. But is Charles going to have the position made here? I don't think so. He's going to duck out of that one early. And of course, he's not had the best experience at this corner. And some contact there, and Pierre is almost sideways, but I think Charles realises he instigated that and has lifted off. Let's have a quick look again, back into turn 1. What has happened here with Piero? He can jump aboard with him. He's up the inside of Charles and the inside of Ryan Bad, and maybe very slight contact, maybe a bit of Netco bumping as well. But we couldn't really tell for that one, so maybe just a racing incident for today. We still have Play Dutchy, Toussaint, Bonnie and Tyler up in P1 to 4, so a dominant performance so far for the Black Country boys. Zino in 5th place with Wolfie in the Alfa Romeo doing very well, it must be said, down in P6. But now he's got 2 ferocious Aston Martins on his tail, mainly Diovis and Ryan is bad. I don't think we've seen any gamesmanship from the ART boys here, maybe letting each other have a go, trying to pick off the Alfa Romeo. Seems a bit like you're trying to swat a fly with a wrecking ball here, but we're about to see if that is about to come to any success at all. Wolfie swerving across the line, trying to break the toe. The cars all following suit there. Is Diovis got the inside of the Alfa Romeo? He's not. He's having a quick look. They're trying to scare him in the mirrors as Pierre going for another move at the inside of Ryan's bag. You know that he's sandwiched among 3 red and yellow cars. We have to see if there's any moves to be made here. Diovis in the slipstream there of Wolfie, but no gains to be made for the time being. So he's very close there, right up the bumper of Wolfie, and I think there's contact there from Ryan is bad. Let's get back outside and see what's happened there. I believe he's down in P10. We should quickly check in on what's happened here. So heading up the hill, Ryan is bad. He is straight up the diffuser of Diovis. Can't really see where he's going. Very late on the brakes, missed the brake zone entirely. A little lock up there from Wolfie, I think, as well. But Ryan has nowhere to go. Pushes Jerris out wide. The other 2 cars at the inside. But very sportsmanlike from Ryan is bad, allowing me to resume position ahead of him. So I believe we're on the last lap here I believe in last lap, we've got 15 minutes to finish the race, seems a little bit excessive. But our front four are still Play Dutchy, Tucson, Bonneville and Tiger Assassin. But Zeno has been pushing them like mad all the way to the end of this lap and the race even actually. So, oh, actually we are still going. I got the times completely wrong then. Let's see, the Zeno is much closer than he has been previously to Tiger Assassin. All he needs now is a good exit and maybe he stands a chance of overtaking him. But again, a little bit squirmish out of turn one. Not the idea he was trying to go for there, as it looks like maybe that is Bonnie up front has a 2-second penalty. Of course, it's very easy to get rid of the penalties here at Red Bull Ring. You can burn off about half a second just breaking into this turn 3 90-degree corner. But not going to be helping Zeno as he really needs to make some gains and make some inroads on the Black Country boys. Charles, I think the P6 of course following that drama that on the previous lap with Ryan is bad. And Wolfie, he's being chased down by Piero. We've got Yovis in P8, Wolfie in 9th, still got Ryan is bad on his tail in P10. Seth closing them down in 11th, again a little bit sideways through the Roush corner there. We've got Lango in 12th, Pocker's 3rd, and Ted MC just on his tail in P14. That front 5 really have pulled away. We'll jump back to our man Zeno. We can see there's a 5, almost 6-second gap between him and the next competitor. So really, it's been a tightly fought battle among this top tier of races. And hopefully we're going to see a little bit more drama unfold, maybe some more positive drama we hope from ART. We'll hop back on board then with Zeno in the GR Supra. Of course, Toyota racing a plethora of new cars in the last few days, mainly EVs. One of them hopefully being a remake of the iconic MR2. Of course, it won't be quite the same without that peppy, I think the 1.6 litre engine in the back. More likely to be an electric set of batteries, maybe 2 motors on the rear, but it'd be nice to see a midship sports car nonetheless, I'm sure. Of course, we've already seen they released the GR86, with an upgrade on the GT86, which has had rave reviews, and I'm sure if you've not been living under a rock for the past 2 years, we already know about the amazing Toyota GR Yaris. What I would give to have those for my driveway. We've got Voodoo in the chat today that plays actually very impressive. It is indeed, but you're cheering for the wrong guy. He's not with us tonight, I'm afraid, Voodoo. He's with the Black Country Racing team, so we need him off of P1. But he sticks to P1 like chewing gum sticks to school tables. And as a teacher, I'm talking from experience. Don't ask me. As it stands though, with seemingly 12 minutes to go, we still have Play Dutchy, Tucson, Bonneville, Tiger Assassin dominating the top 4 positions. ART Zeno is not letting them go without a fight, still in P5. Jumping back to Charles, who's managed to extend the gap to almost a second over Piero in 7th. Dio is still tucked in the slipstream in P8. Another 3 seconds down the road is Wolfie, who has made a move on, who's still ahead, I should say, of Ryan is bad, but they are reeling him in slowly but surely. As is Seth F1, who's right at the back of this battling pair. A 3-way now for P9. We can see 2 more of the Amigos racing boys in the background there, Lango and Hockers. 12th and 13th respectively, as I cannot seem to find Ted. Oh, Ted is there indeed, just a little bit further back on that, 1.9 seconds off of the rest of the drivers, and maybe a little bit more in the lane for another penalty in the track limits. Quick jump up the pack though, we can see that we've got Ryan and Wolfie going side by side, right around the outside of Wolfie. Will he get the power down on the way out? Doesn't look like he will, but they are going to be side by side heading down the back straight. Let's have a look. Will he make the overtake? I think Wolfie will still have the inside line to make it very hard for him. Ryan is definitely late on the brakes, but maybe it's a little bit too late. Wolfie moves across and just about leaves him for space. Very good driving from this pair. Have another look at that one again, heading up the hill. Oh, there we are on the replay. Yes, so good traction out of there from Ryan is bad, but just can't get enough power down to get past Wolfie. We'll see those they head out of that second left-hander in the middle sector. Still right at the diffuser for Alfa Romeo, only a 10th and a half in it. He's going to go for an early move here into the double right at the end of this sector. He's not going to go for it, and really this might well be costing Ryan more time than it's worth. Seth is stuck behind him as well. Maybe it's worth letting Seth have a go instead, because Wolfie's doing an amazing job the Black Country holding up these two ART boys. Dare I say, Checo Perez could even be driving from the Alfa Romeo. Let's see though, I'm sure we're going to see Ryan and Seth having another go here at Wolfie, but not if they're side by side. Wolfie's had a tremendous run out of turn 1, he's definitely getting away. I think Ryan is now going to let Seth have a crack at it instead. I'm sure Seth is getting very bored of seeing that Greedy Dog Graphics logo on the rear of Ryan's car. Again, quick trip back to the front. Toussaint is now in the lead, and Play Dutchy is down to 4. We'll see what's happened to him. He's gone wide at turn 1, and he had a bit of a sideways moment there. That's turn 3, I should say. Finding himself now down in P4. But is he in the clutches of Zeno? Not quite. Still half a tenth in it. So he's still waiting on Alarm Man Zeno to get himself out of P5. He's only got 10 minutes to do it. Heading through there towards the end of lap 11. We had a Vuda saying, yeah, I know, just giving him a shout out. Oh, that's fair enough. As long as you're on the channel and interacting, I suppose I can't really complain. But if you want to see Dutchy some more, this is where we want to see him at risk of an overtake from our man Zeno. Two Dutchmen going at it around the Austrian circuit here in the hills of Styria. Lay saying ART for the win. Come on, Chambers. That's the spirit we're looking for. Thank you, Lay. Let's see if Zeno's got a run now on Dutchy. I don't think he has. I think Dutchy's had just a slightly better exit. Zeno is going to start weeding him in the section, but definitely nowhere near close enough to get a chance at him at turn 3. Dutchy though lifting off a little bit early to get rid of that penalty. There's Charles in the background in P6, a huge gap there to Piero, who's now up to Jovis threatening him from the rear, but Jovis will not go for the move here. And we look further back though, we can see Seth on the outside of Wolfie. Is Wolfie going to be late on the brakes one more time? He is indeed. Again, another side-by-side through there, but now Seth seems to have much better traction out there. Now can he get that drag race past Wolfie? With a little bit of a bump job from Ryan is bad, he might just make it, but he's got to get that gap and be clearly ahead. Another bump there from Ryan is bad. He's on the brakes, Wolfie again, very late on the brakes and to the inside. Oh, and there's just about space up there. Another bump job from Ryan is bad to get Seth straight into the battle. Now he's on the inside, heading into the double left. Still holds that tight line. Is Wolfie going to stick it around the outside of turn 6? He is indeed, and keeps ahead of ART Seth. I must say, some phenomenal defensive driving here from the Irishman. He might not be in the fastest car, but he's definitely in the widest. However, Seth is again looking at the inside there of Wolfie. They are neck and neck heading into the second to last corner. Seth makes his move on the inside. Wolfie's still around the outside and keeps P9. This is incredible driving, I must say. And he holds on to P9 for yet another lap. Absolutely incredible. Seth now look at the inside of Wolfie. A little bit of door banging maybe, but now Seth is ahead. Has Wolfie got a better exit though? Seth is sideways, he's almost off the track, but he does keep it in a straight line. Wolfie going on the outside. Ryan is bad, trying to give another bump up the hill, and we can see there as well, Hockey's entering the fray. This could be a 5-way fight for P9. Wolfie up to the inside, but Ryan is bad is also now past the Alfa Romeo, and he's been sandwiched, but he's also pushed Hockers off the track. Maybe he didn't know he was there. Hockers keeps it in though, and he spun. He spun, as has Ryan is bad. They both have damage. That is absolutely horrendous. What has happened there? Let's run aboard Hockey, see what happens. So Wolfie has pushed him wide. He's on the dirty side of the track there. I think he just gets a little bit excited on the throttle, as does Ryan is bad, and they both, unfortunately, have had a spin. It's the last thing you want to see there after some amazing driving from the pair of them. It seems their luck has finally run out. Ryan is bad in 12th, Hockers in 13th. Wolfie has lost out to Lango, it seems, as well, maybe trying to give some of that time up, but unfortunately it's not going to make a difference. Those ART boys in 12th and 13th. It's a real shame. We saw some fantastic driving. At the front though, it is all changed. Tiger Assassin now resumes the lead of the race. We have Toussaint in second, Orny Valley in third, Dutchy in fourth, and Zeno is still on the hunt for a way out of P5, almost like the cursed Super GT teaching position down in P6. He cannot get out. He's late on the brakes. Look at the inside of Dutchy. Dutchy leaves him the space, on the apex, but just cannot get the exit. Of course, turbocharged engine needs a little bit of time to spool up in the bottom of first gear, so he's knocking out the traction on the way out. Dutchy flying away now, almost trying to break the slipstream from Zeno. He almost has. Is that crucial 7/5 there. He's going to try and have another good exit there out of Roush corner, again gaining on our Dutchman, but still not quite up the slipstream. You know he's going to be shouting his team in the chat to get a move on and pull him along the track. Lay's asking Hoppers to fight back and get back in the game. Let's very much hope he does, and Cuzzy as well. We can see there is still a train forming just down the road behind Charles. He's got 6 seconds up on Piero, and there is Diovis, only 3/10 back and closing. It's rather important there with the Slovenian as he tries to pursue the French driver in the Lexus through the 2 last corners of lap 14. Lay on the brakes, tight on the apex, running nice and wide. Good line there, and it's trying again, maybe a little bit of contact, I'm not too sure, a bit of netcode, sideways on the exit, that's going to cost him some time, and a little bit of life for those precious soft tyres. However, provided he has a smooth exit up turn 1, he may well have opportunity up into turn 3. Early on the brakes, a good exit there, smooth on the power, but I think the Lexus has just a slightly better exit. I don't think we'll see another move here up the hill. Diovis will remain in P8 for the time being. Losing a little bit of time on the entry, but gaining it all back on the exit. Has he got a chance now to maybe get past Piero? 3.5 tenths down. Make that 3 tenths. Make that 2.5 tenths. He's just showing his headlights from the rear view, but nothing going for the time being. Further down the road there, we've got Seth and Lango, who have both jumped Wolfie here for P11. We've got Ted has made his way past Ryan's Bad, who's got a 10-second deficit now as he's pitted for some super soft tyres, as has Hoppers. So unfortunately the pit stop here definitely putting paid to the ART races here and putting an end to their race. Back in the front though, we still have Tiger Assassin leading the way, followed by Toussaint, followed by Bonival and Dutchy in P4. He's now eked out a second gap there to Zino in P5. I just feel like he's on a bit of an island there, Zino. A second ahead to Dutchy and a second back down to Charles. He's made a decent recovery after his accident at the start of the race and now finds himself in P6. We check up with this battle as Piero and Joes are side by side. There's a little bit of door banging there heading into the first corner. I'm not sure I'd want to be the driver leading up the hill with such a short gap here. We're going to ride on board again with Diovis. As here's the Frenchman, it's only a tenth, if not less now, in his rearview mirror. Piero's pulled to the left, Piero pulls to the right. There's a yellow flag up ahead, as it appears maybe Zino, I think, has had an accident. Piero just nudges Joe slightly wide, sideways on the exit, but Joe has the better traction, maybe a little bit of lift there from Piero, who's in P7. But Zino, what has happened to Zino? He's got rear damage. I think he's put his foot down a little bit too quickly out of the right hand, unfortunately, for Zino. So he finds himself down in 6th place, only a second or so off this battle for Dioris as Piero resumes P7 with a move the inside at the Roush corner. So we've got about a minute and a half to go, so I presume we've only got one more lap left in this race. Moving on to, I think, will be 17 laps. We still have a, I think at this point it might well be Black Country Racing top 6, I think. If it is Tiger Assassin, Bonival. Oh, so yes, we've got Charles in P5 at least. At least we've got Charles in P5. So it's still going to be a fairly dominant top 4 for Black Country Racing. But Charles flying the flag will be the American flag for Amigos Racing Team and of course ARC. Up in 5th place. 9 seconds down the road there in P6. Still holding on to Diovis, who still has Piero in his rear view, but with a second penalty to his name, that will be flashing aggressively over Piero's screen. However, still got a bit of time to make up to Diovis. I'm sure there's no chance of a move there into turn 3. There is not indeed. Piero stays in P8. We've got Seth Lango in 9th and 10th, still dragging Wolfie after his tremendous defence against Ryan is bad and Seth earlier, finds up in P11. Ted MC in P12, very lonely race for him as well, 27 seconds off of his compatriot there. And of course we saw Ryan is bad and Hoppers, the trailing pair, are into a pit stop and change of tyres. So, unfortunately for the Amigos Racing team, as far as I can tell, this will be all she wrote as we follow our leading pack through the final corner. It will be, I'm sure, Tiger Assassin crossing the line first and taking the checkered flag as a very triumphant result there for the Black Country Racers. It is Tiger Assassin, Tusa, Bonnievale and Play Dutchy in first to fourth. ARC Charles bringing home a very well-deserved fifth place, which could well have been belonging to this man here, ART Zino, despite a short accident at the end of the race. Yoris takes seventh, Piero comes home in P8. And we've got Seth and Lango just holding off Wolfie by a tenth of a second to take the last spot of the top 10. Wolfie in 11th, Ted there clipping some of the sand, making his way around the track to take home P12, I'm sure. He's got a half-second penalty for maybe a little bit of excursion off the track there. Maybe another bit more here, running wide, but I'm sure he won't mind. He's got 6.5 seconds in the bag to Ryan in P13. He'll cross the line to P12. Here comes Ryan Isbad in 13th place. He did make some big inroads there on Ted MC, but just not enough, unfortunately. And last but by no means least, for ART is Hockers 22. So that brings to a close the first of our two races here tonight at the Amigos Racing Team at Black Country Racing team versus team event. But we'll see you very shortly for the feature race, 40 minutes of Lago Maggiore. We'll be right back. So we got Lays in the chat there saying, get some Diovis. An excellent finish for the Slovenian, making his way through the pack there towards the back of the pack. If you're joining us late, we are about to start at some point soon the second race tonight at Lago Maggiore. A little bit of a conversation here in the chat, you can see on the left there, about dropping penalties. Now, one thing that we started doing here, at least in the Amigos Racing team, is we burn off the penalties within one lap from the corner you get it until that same corner next lap, to avoid any issues with ghosting at the wrong corners, or not knowing if someone's ghosting or unghosting, or of course to stop accumulating penalties in an unfair way, and then to just burn them all off at something that's convenient, as we saw at turn 3 here at Austria. However, as the BCR guys are hosting, I don't think they will be keen on adapting that kind of rule, as it's not something that they seem to do in their league. Zino's mentioning here that he nearly took out Dutchy because of ghosting, so I don't think it's going to be happening. So I'm sure we're going to see plenty of drivers running around with multiple seconds of penalties, because the game allows you to. Really, I personally hope in Gran Turismo 7 we get some penalty gates to use in lobby racing, because I think it's an excellent system. is quite balanced, and it does deter incurring penalties on a regular basis. But what do you think, guys, about the penalty system? Do you think we should just run them round and burn them off whenever, or we should have a set rule for the penalties? Should maybe future TBTs have a penalty gate that we set on the track ourselves, or should we just wait for Gran Turismo 7 and hope that they've got them for us? Let me know what you think in the comments, please. So I think they want to start as soon as possible. We've got Natty, the host, trying to get the guys on track as soon as they can. And I think we're going to be getting underway very shortly. So the race result that we've just seen at Austria will be our starting grid for the feature race here at Lago Maggiore. So we're not going to get any practice in, I don't think. They're going to be starting the race as soon as possible. And here we go. Let's take and see how it goes. So as we start the race, I'll try and have a quick run through the grid as they get settled down, so we can see what kind of strategies drivers might be on. Of course, for a 40-minute event, I'm sure we're going to see some element of fuel saving, some element of tyre saving as well. And of course, the driver can can choose from any of the 4 compounds: the racing soft, super soft, mediums and hards. They must use 2 different compounds during the race, but I believe they may use compounds more than once. Maybe if they want to 2-stop, they can use the supers twice and the softs once. Either way, we will have to see. As the action is about to unfold here at Lago Maggiore, we're going to run aboard with Hockers at the back of the pack as they all get a clean getaway, it seems. So as we run aboard there with Hockers from the back, we'll see if there's any chaos unfolding into turn 1. These people are fairly tidy as we shuffle away through there. We've got Zin on the inside of Pierre's, of course, the Super with the turbo not having the best of starts. But he does make his way round Piero after the P7. Piero's in 6th, an excellent start from him in the Aston Martin, and another excellent start as well from the ALC Charles, who's keeping P5 there. But again, he's now got that huge wall of BCR boys to get through, as Dioris allows Zino up the outside there. So of course they may be knowing that he's a slightly faster driver, doesn't want to get in his way. Voodoo saying, I like the way Amigos do it. I'm assuming they're talking about the penalty system. I know it might sound like I'm biased, but I do think it's a much better way to run it. It does ensure that you don't just build up lots of penalties and burn it off, in front of an opponent, or at a point that might cause problems with ghosting system. Gran Turismo is full of issues. But let's see how we get on here at Lago Maggiore. So you're what we've just shuffled just a little bit there. Charles getting all kinds of wobbly there out of the big banky boy, as I'm sure we've all called it at some point. Looks like he's allowing Zin up the inside, I think. A little bit raced there from those two. We don't want to be meeting our good friend Barry on the exit of that chicane. But yes, it is getting a little bit hectic. Of course, we're only on lap 1. You can't win the race on lap 1, and of course we know about the heroic to Sandercock. But we'll take a quick break here to see what kind of strategy we are looking at here. So we'll start from the front, Tiger Assassin on the racing softs. Seems all of our front 4 from BCR are on the racing softs. They're of course not the same level of grip as the super softs, but a little bit more tyre life. We've then got Zino on the super softs as he goes for a very late move up the inside of Bonnie Val, and he just gets it stuck, I think. We'll get on board sideways with him though, and they are side by side through turn 3. When we're looking back up the inside, Zino just about cuts him off, and it's a very good move. Everyone seems to be running quite wide out of the exit there. Can you see Zino's move there again? I've missed that on the replay, I apologise, but it does seem that Zino had a quick flick up the inside at turn 2, knew the gap was there, but then Bonnie Van Zino's gone very wide there, onto the grass. Charles goes past for P5 and Piero for P6. What has happened to Zeno? I apologise for cutting the replay there. Let's see, as Zeno's in P4, Bonival in the slipstream, moving to the inside there. Zeno super soft, but it's still late on the break. Bonival the inside. It seems that Zeno has just played a bit too late there. Also, Tiger Assassin getting a little bit out of shape there. Oh, this allows Charles up in the rear of Bonival. He's got a 4/10 penalty, but he's going to have a look at the inside into Banky Boy. He's on the inside line, goes to the penalty away, but no move, for the time being. Meanwhile, Intrudes at the edge of the fray there. Play Dutchy's now starting to run away a little bit. He's got those three BCR drivers in the middle of Charles trying to slow his progress. But I want to see if he can make it go through the pack. So he's got Piero there in 6th place with a 1 second counter to his name. Well, I'm sure, as we said before, the drivers will be very keen to just let those sit for as long as they like. Not something I agree with personally, but of course, I'm just a messenger. And Zeno after his little incursion in the grass there in P7. We've got Wilson here in P8. Of course, with incredible defensive driving in the previous race on the soft tyres. We've got Dioris gone for the medium tyres, so perhaps considering the one stop here at Lagomaggiore. So of course the medium's even slower corner for corner than the soft, but a fair bit more durability. Seth has also gone for the same strategy there, medium tyres. We've got Ryan Fad also on the medium tyres. Ted in his BMW on the softs, and Langer and Hockers also on the medium tyres. So we might well be trying to see the 1 stop from the Amigos and a 2 stop from the BCR guys, which could be quite interesting. That's how strategies work out. We're going to run on board though with Charles though. Piero has got onto the back of the American, but he's still right up the diffuser of that BMW. In fact, we're going to ride on board then, I think, with Charles. That massive hood scoop on the Corvette there, obnoxiously large. We're now going to see the raw power of this American V8 as he roars onto the back of that BMW. 6th gear, 165 miles, 170 down into Banky Boy. BMW late on the brakes, just about saves it out of the gravel, but Charles still cannot find a way past. That BMW is wide as anything. And he's got a Lexus in his rear view for good measure. He needs to make his way out of this sandwich quickly. Also, we might see maybe a little bit of a delay tactics there to bring back into the fight. Bearing in mind he's only 8/10 off this battle for what I feel can be considered P4. We'll ride on board for a little bit then with Zeno as he is heading through the final corner. Nick the 3rd gear, get that extra rotation through the corner, up in at 4th. Of course, short shift in the sweep for all the torques in the middle of the rev range. Set the dice out with that 153.9. Misses that first apex though, not very good, but again on the super soft tyres you can afford to do that. DM Charles goes a little bit wide. Piero trying to keep him on the edge of the track, but Charles retains 5th place. Let's see if Piero's got anything to do as he tries to pursue the American. He's got a quick shot of why Charles went so wide. And a look there as we ride on board. Charles just didn't get the cleanest exit and tried to get turned through turn 2 of Bonival. BMW was in the way, so he couldn't get the rotation through the corner. Still right up the rear of Charles there, but nothing going for the time being as they head up into this really tricky S section at Lagomaggiore. It's such a difficult part of the track to get right, but if you nail it, you feel like an absolute legend. The words of Clarkson, I'm a driving god. Getting a little bit of white, a little bit of dust, but now right at the back of Piero's car here. Piero carrying a little bit more penalty there, but Piero's now pulling away in the Lexus. Maybe not going to be overtake here, as it would be a bit risky heading into Banky Boy. You see the incline of that corner, pushing the cars towards the apex, but holding all that momentum crucially. 2 cents has taken a lead back from Play Dutchy. Of course, these guys pushing very, very hard to keep their front 4 going. Play Dutchy though, just bringing Tyler along with him, and Bonival only 3.5, 4.5, and 5/10 now back from Tiger Assassin. Maybe he's starting to feel the pressure of the Amigo behind him. Or also a little bit of Perez tactics, keep them away from the front. P4. You can see there, Piero down in P6. He's still got Zino right behind him, but he's not going on straight unless Zino, of course, might be using a slightly less powerful fuel map, just trying to save a little bit more petrol heading into the pit stops. We've got Wolfie in P8, who's taking a 4-second gap ahead of Ryan and Seth, who are side by side in the first corner. Seth actually side by side with Ted on the inside there of Seth, getting into P2, but Seth should have the traction on the nicer line outside, and it moves up into 10th place. Gary's from 6th, an absolute nightmare, finds himself now down in P12. Lanko just behind him in 13th, and Hopper's switching him in 14th place. And again, we can see on the track map at the top right another big gap between some of the faster and some of the weaker drivers, possibly in our split here with the two teams. That top 5, I believe it is, only separated, top 6, top 7 I should say, only separated by 2.5 seconds. So really anybody's game here as we head out of the first 10 minutes. We can see drivers already having to cut to the left-hand side. We can see Bonnival at risk from to DM Charles. Bonnival trying to go around the outside. Charles is trying to keep it on the inside line and stays in P4. Very tight defensive driving from those two guys there. Not sure if that was Charles letting go of the wheel just a little bit, just to encourage him to take a wider line. I'm sure we'll see Bonnival trying to have a go at him again. And Dylan at the inside of Bonnival as well. Is there a move to be made there at all? There is indeed. You know, very late on the break. Channeling in a Max Verstappen and takes P5. Bonnival still on the inside, but this will become the outside for the next two corners. Zino actually on the grass at that point. Now door banging it seems. Bonnival on the grass and Piero now on the inside of Zino. Now I think it's getting a little bit feisty here. So Bonnival again going very wide at the last corner with the dirt on his tyres. Let's see if we can have a quick look at what's happened there in sequence. So we have a look. He's been pushed fairly wide by Zino. I must say a very robust move. And then just there, a little bit more door banging I think between Piero and Zino, resulting in Bonnival also going a little bit wide on his dirty tyres. So again, maybe some words to be had there between these drivers after the race. For the time being though, the order remains Dutchy P1, Toussaint P2, Tiger in P3, Charles up into P4 following this drama with Piero and Zino in 5th and 6th. Zino going for that wider line through that long double right-hander there. Now trying to slingshot his way along the outside of Piero. It's going to be very tricky to maintain his position. He's ahead in the corner. Piero does have the inside. Zino for an excellent cutback up the inside. That's a tremendous move by the Dutchman. Exceptional driving. Like a matador with a red cape. He put that ball exactly where he wanted it and then showed it into the middle of next week. Let's have another look at that one again from Zino. A tremendous move. Holds a wider line. Piero takes the bait. Too deep on the inside and Zino says thank you very much and he's on his way. Fantastic driving there. And crucially that's earned him another 4/10 escape there from Piero, who now has to decide if he wants to let Bonnival go or drag him along for the ride. We needed some of this in the last race, Zino, but nonetheless, excellent driving. However, it's got to be said, Piero's looking menacing. He does have probably slightly more tyre life in those soft tyres. Actually, having said that, I think those tyres are more or less equal, so you might just start to see Zino drop off the pace a little bit as his super softs start to hit the dip. We see Piero really menacing the back of Zino there. Zino now pulled into pits on a super soft, so maybe all he wants to do is try and disrupt the flow of the Lexus driver a little bit. And Bonnival look at the inside general to be made. I think there is there. Piero's going to drop some penalty and let his teammate go for the 5th place there on the track. So far, it's a Black Country ranking 1 to 7 with the exception of Charles up here in P4, chasing down Tiger Assassin and Toussaint. Heading out of the first sector there, down the long second straight and towards this tricky right-hander. Of course, you're breaking the straight line while the corner still turns around and then make the apex, rush out nice and wide and keep momentum heading up into the tricky S's that we saw before with that amazing move by Zino. Of course, you can take maybe a little bit more of the track on the left-hander, and then you can use a bit more track limits on these other two corners here. All drivers running fairly wide there, heading onto the back straight at Lago Maggiore. Of course, we saw Charles reach about 170 miles an hour before hitting the brakes. A very brave move, as you see. It is indeed another 170, another 174, I think, before slamming on the ankles. You see those brakes going right red hot. Of course, gravel chaps have taken many victims in Gran Turismo Sport, myself included, multiple times, but no one seems to have fallen prey to it yet. Wolfie, another 2 seconds up here on Ryan is bad. Those soft tyres doing really well for Alfa Romeo, a very, very light car here in Group 3, and made for the handling segment of Lago Maggiore, even if it doesn't quite have the straight line grunt of the Aston Martins of Ryan and Seth. But they do seem to have a little bit more fuel in the tank, so you might be expecting to see Wolfie give up that P7 to put some more fuel and some tyres on. We'll have to check on that in a moment as we see our top 4 still crossing the line, I think, with the exception of Charles. Charles picks then from P4, as does Piero and Bonival. You've got Wolfie coming in to refill for some fuel as well. Ryan is bad, is going to stay out, but Seth will come in. We get back on track. Ted will carry on there in P10. Well, that will be P5 as he makes his way past the drivers in the pits. Hopkins will up to P6, Lando to 7th, and Joe is into 8th place. Zino is in 10th place, having made a pit stop earlier, it seems. He's now with a fairly good fuel and some soft tyres. Let's see what the Black Country boys are up to then. Bonnie Val is gone for another set of soft tyres, as has Piero. Wolfie's also gone for some soft tyres, and Seth is coming out on a new set of soft tyres and a full tank of fuel. So we've got about half our pit stops made so far. Dutchie's still in the lead here in the Mercedes AMG, but with, as you can see, very low fuel there. Same for Tucson and Tiger Saturn in the Lexuses. What is the plural of Lexus? Life mystery. So they have a 16-second advantage on Ryan is bad there on the medium tyres, but still with a tiny bit of fuel left. I'm sure we'll see him come in for the next lap to get some more fuel in the tank. Not sure if it was worth these guys taking the medium tyres given the excessive fuel use on the cars here. I think he could well have been on the soft tyres and made a couple of inroads on the drivers in front of him, knowing he'd have to pit around lap 8 anyway. We've got Alex in the chat saying, come on guys. It's definitely not our best showing it. It must be said, Amigos racing team. I think we definitely could have had some better races here, as Dutchie and Tyrus has been cutting it very fine. 1% fuel in the tank. But I suppose you win and you lose. So victories come and victories go. But I'm sure it's a learning experience for everyone on the track here. As Ryan is bad, will carry on for one more lap, I believe, before turning to the pits. Jumping back down there, Teddy's going to jump into the pits. We saw Charles pit in the last lap, so he's now going to take effective P2. Hoppers is still with that one up, he's going to have P3. We've got Yost in P4. Zino looking up slightly the front right it seems there, but up in the P5. So he made some inroads definitely on those guys behind us, but will he have the opportunity to pull away? Because I think he might just have to make another pit stop. We check in with the front 4 of the 4. Play Dutchie now, another full tank of fuel and a new set of soft tyres. He must use another compound at some point soon, as must Tiger Assassin and Tucson. They both need to put on a second compound of tyre at some point before the end of this race. As will Bonnie Val, who pitted earlier, as will Piero, who pitted earlier. So the running order with all pit stops made is all pit stops except Ryan is bad. So he will be finding his way to the rear of the pack at some point soon. So our effective race leader is this man here, DM Charles in the Corvette. 3.8 seconds down the road from him is ART Zino, who's in a neck battle with Play Dutchie, I think. I think Dutchie has just got past Hoppers, it seems. Can Hoppers maybe slipstream past and maybe interfere with his race a little bit more? I don't think he's got the run on him there, so he's going to let that one go. He could, though, maybe try and hold up Tiger Assassin. We'll jump aboard there with Hoppers. Finds himself up in P5 on the warm medium tyres and not much fuel to play with, but he's doing a very good job trying to keep Tiger Assassin at bay. Tiger Assassin will have the inside line, but will he hold the door open for Tucson as well? I think he's going to give it a try. He does indeed. What about Bonival? No, that door is closed. As Yoris goes off in the background there. Not too sure what's happened to him. As he's still going to hold off Bonival as much as he can. Great driving from Hockers there. Defensive drive. Bonival flashing the lights. He's not happy at all. He's going for a dive bomb there. Very aggressive move, it must be said. Not very necessary. But Hockers still holding off there. And Piero is off on the sideways into the wall. Bit of door banging there. Now Piero's turning into him, in fact. So I have to check that one out. And there's another move there from Piero. Not very good driving at all there. He's going to go up the drive on the inside of Hockers there. Hockers getting a bit sideways, almost on the... And he is on the grass. Unfortunately for Hockers, has a very well fought drive in there from him, but to no avail it seems. Meanwhile, let's have a look at what happened to Yovis here. So heading through the corner here, tries to... Oh, it's a bit of a late move there on Piero, and I think the result he's had a bit of contact there, bumped off onto the outside of the track. So yeah, I can't really tell from that camera angle who's the protagonist of that accident. But for me, Piero is not in my good books. I can understand he might be a bit aggrieved with Hockers having much a little bit wide on the home straight, but that is no excuse to start turning into his rear wheels and try and provoke a spin, and I would not be happy with that, nor would I be happy with that representing Black Country Racing if I were one of their drivers. Nonetheless, we do for once have an Amigos Racing team blue and yellow machine up at the front of the pack in DM Charles. 4.5 seconds down the road from him is ART Zino in the Supra. We've got Play Dutchy, Tiger Assassin and Hussein all chasing him down in P5. Bonival in P6 after some good hold-up by Hockers, but I'm sure we'll see him back on the road soon. We've got Piero there in P7 with a 1.5 second penalty looming over his head. Yovis down in P8, so he needs to make a stop fairly soon. And then I'm not too sure what his strategy will be, because 20 minutes in, he's almost used up all of his fuel. So I'm sure I have to see him come in on this lap. But what will he go for? Another set of medium tyres? Maybe a set of softs, I'm sure. Looks like he's got one more lap left in him. He's really trying to stretch out those tyres. Maybe another full tank of fuel and a set of hards possibly for him. We'll have to see as Hockers dives into pit there. No fuel remaining, so he's really cut that one fine. Steph moves around then to start lap 10 for him as Cuzzy takes P11 from Hockers. Ted carrying on there in the back of the VTR races, and Lango at the back of the pack in 14th place. We jump on board then with Tiger Assassin, 9,000ths of a second purple through the first sector as he is on the hunt for ART Zino. 1.1 seconds and closing. You see they're using all of the inside curves, including the rumble strip. Same here for the second S and the same for the third. Expertly taken there by the British driver. Now sticking a little bit more rumble strip and opening up the steering. Take the back straight here at Maggiore. You see they're come into 6th gear, 150 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour, and tumbling along his fellow Lexus for good measure, nudging 170 as he slams on the brakes there, heading through the big Danish boy. He's narrowed down that gap to Zino by 0.5 of a second already. He's trying to close down on that Supra even more as they head through the second semi-chicane. Right, they think another 2,000s purple. So really trying to nail his consistent purple lap there through the third last corner. The second last corner again, a little bit struck on the exit there, but taking another 10 out of ART Zino. The final corner now, using a lot of that inside curve again. Third gear for the rotation and back up to fourth for the push, and now he's 4/10 off the zero. So he really is trying to catch up to that Supra with all his might and bringing along Toussaint for the ride. Bonival is in P5, so it looks like he might have had a bit of a moment as he was at the front of that pack for a little while. Bonival will let him go. Dutchy will take P5, Bonival in 6th. Yeah, Piero in 7th place, following his interesting scrap with Hockers and Yovis. Wolfie up into 8th place, Steph in 9th place. Ryan is bad in 10th place. Dioris will be in 12th, following Ted passing him in the pit lane. Dioris filling up with fuel there. He is stopped with 18 minutes to go, so is there a one stop available for him? It's going to be a very, very steady sprint for him to the line, I think. Question is, what tyres has he put on? He's gone for soft tyres, so maybe he must be committing now to a 2-stop, I'm sure. So I think he's realised now that the 1-stop just is not going to be quick enough. Clock is there at the back of the pack in P14. We'll jump back to Tiger Assassin and the battle for second place, bringing Toussaint along with him as they are now heading down the back straight. Amaggiore, Zino defending very aggressively there. We'll run the ball with Toussaint as we get a battle, the view of the battle of the front two here. Zino pushing and Toussaint pushing to the very extremities of the rumble strip there, almost dipping their tyres into gravel and going for a spin, but not today. See Zino really holding up these guys through the chicane there. He heads to the inside to defend again from Tiger Assassin, back out to the outside to resume the ideal racing line. This is bringing Toussaint back towards him, but all he's really doing is holding them up. As you can see on the delta on left, their Play Dutchy is gaining on this battling trio once again. We're hopefully just trying to hold off these guys so that DM Charles can pull away in advance of his next pit stop. Now we're going to see the grunt of this big Lexus V8. I want to take the 5-litre V8, but I'm probably wrong. Heading down the home stretch, towards the inside, then the outside to break the slipstream. Tiger Assassin late on the brakes, and he does get it stuck. He gives the space and tries to hold the inside there. A little bit of a nudge bikes, but now I think on Toussaint is ghosting, not ghosting. Toussaint has the inside for this corner. Will's going to remain on that outside to keep the inside of the next corner. He will give it his best shot, but no, guys, down to P4 there. So if you're just tuning in now, you are halfway, more or less, through the second of 2 races of the Amigos racing team versus Black Country Racing. The current running order after the first set of pit stops is DM Charles in first place. We can see that he's running fairly low on fuel, so he has to come in at some point soon, and we'll see where that puts him as he takes his next pit stop. Tiger Assassin is 6.8 seconds down the road, as is Toussaint just 2.5 seconds behind him. Zino in P4, just down from P2, 3 tenths off of this battling pair, and now we've got Dutchy coming into the back of our shot there, as is Bonnibel as well. We can see Zino sandwiched with 2 Black Country racers either side. He needs to get out of there as soon as he can, or he is going to be making a very unpleasant sandwich. There, as we said, it's Play Dutchy in P5, only 9 tenths now off of Zino, and will be closing as he battles with the Black Country boys ahead of him. Bonnie about 2 seconds behind Dutchy and ahead of Piero in 7th place. He has an 11-second gap to Wolfie in the Alfa Romeo in 8th place. He's got 9 seconds back down to Seth in P9. Rounding up the top 10 is Ryan in 10th place there, 2.8 seconds off of Seth. He's got 7 seconds up on Ted in P11. He's only 4 seconds up on Diovis, on Lango, sorry. Diovis is in 13th, following his fairly slow first stint on the mediums, fuel saving as much as he could. It's not often the word fuel saving in a V10 engine, but he's had a very good job of it. And then there is Hockers in P14. Not the best day for Hockers, but I'm sure to have the chance to race with the Amigos team in a TV team event is something he'll be very proud of doing. And again, it's always a learning experience, I'm sure he'll take on board anything he gains from today. ART Seth jumps into the pits there, having done his first stint on the soft tyres. So you might see him slap some more mediums on and hope to get to the end of this race. Or maybe fill up with fuel, go for one more stint on the softs. He's got the tyres on, now he's filling up. This is just how much fuel he puts into that massive Aston Martin tank. Looks like he's going for a fairly healthy amount of fuel there. He is indeed full tank of fuel, fresh set of soft tyres, so he should be going to the end. Question is, how will that play out in terms of the other drivers ahead of him? He's got almost a minute to the first place driver in DM Charles. We know he'll be coming in fairly soon. In fact, I'm sure he'll be coming in this lap. As you see his fuel indicator there blinking in the dangerous red sector there. He's really running it down to the last dregs of petrol. And the question is, where will he come out in relation to the Black Country boys? He's still got about 6-7 seconds in hand, so he's done a very good job of retaining that gap to the drivers behind him. As we see Play Dutchy is now past Zino. Here comes Charles into the pit, so while he's in the pits, we'll run aboard with Zino and see just how close he is to Dutchy. Dutchy's already eked out 7 tenths, and now he's out of the slipstream. Zeno jumps into the pits now then. Hopefully going for an undercut there on the Black Country guys. We see Piero's got a bit more fuel than those two, so he might be coming in maybe in a lap or two's time. So our next driver on track is Wolfie. He's also dangerously low, so he's going to come in for some fuel. Let's check in on Ryan is bad. He's still got plenty in the tank, so we'll see him going for a couple more laps yet. But where will Charles leave the pit lane? He is left in P6, 14 seconds off of Piero, but with a semi-full tank of fuel and some super soft tyres. Will they last to the end of the race? It's quite hard to tell. We know those soft tyres can easily do about 10 minutes of racing before they start showing obvious signs of wear, but of course with a fairly full car for fuel and a softer compound of tyre, it might be pushing it to get to the end on the super softs. We'll have to see how that goes for him. Zeno just out of the pits, 10 seconds behind him, also on super soft tyres, and there is Ryan is bad, you know, as well, getting a free slipstream for a couple of corners at least on the softer compound. But he has got half a tank of fuel left, so he might still have a chance to nip into the pits, a quick splash and dash with some super soft tyres, and he might be on for a good final stint as well. Back at the front there, with still Toucan and Tiger Assassin, with roughly equal levels for tyres and fuel. Dutchy there has done a tremendous job to get back up to these three, maybe at the cost of burning extra fuel, but now that he's right behind his teammates, I'm sure he can now turn down the fuel mix, relax his tyres a little bit, and try to set into more of a measured rhythm heading into the final 10 minutes of this race. It is a Black Country Racing top 5 as it stands, as Dutchy peels off into the pit lane. Bonneville will also do the same. And I'm sure we'll see Piero do the same as well. You'll see you're holding a very tight line inside the pit lane. The question is, where will Charles emerge? He's still got a couple of seconds as he heads around the last corner. He's going to jump on board there with DM Charles as he heads onto the back, onto the home straight, over the finish line. Dutchy is still in the pit lane. DM Charles is comfortably in front of the Black Country guys there. As is Zeno, it seems, or maybe he's not in fact. Dutchy just about tips him. Dutchy packing a little bit more fuel and 1 or 2 laps fresher super soft tyres, so I think this might all be Dutchy pulling away from Zeno for good. We've got though Ryan Bad has pulled out just in front of Bonneville and Piero, so maybe we'll see him act as rear gunner for Zeno and Charles and try and hold them off for as long as he can. We know Bonneville is going to be quick on the super soft tyres, as will Piero. Wolfie also going for the super soft tyres with a fair bit more fuel. We know he's got to rev the absolute nuts off of that Alfa Romeo to get it going. We've got Diovis still on those soft tyres with half a tank of fuel left, so I'm not too sure how long he and Cuzzy will be able to go on those tyres and fuel. If you watch Cuzzy there, shifting halfway along that red bar, so he really is trying to fuel save. Maybe he can stretch it out to the end of the race, but the question is, will that cost him multiple positions with Bonneville and Piero hunting him down? You see there, Bonneville now only 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds behind Ryan is bad as he heads on the back straight, 1.2 seconds, now less than a second, getting sideways through there. It has saved him a heck of a lot of time now. He's only 8 tenths behind, so he's already gained a second just by going ultra aggressive. Tiger Assassin now in the pits. We're going to ride on board though with Bonneville as he hunts down Ryan is bad. Can he hold off Bonneville for any significant amount of time? And where will the Black Country boys pop out the pits in relation to DM Charles? We're going to have to see. Charles is about to cross the start-finish line. He's still ahead for the time being as Ryan Bad has to hold off Bonneville for a lap here. Play Dutchy crossing the line, still in P2. Zeno still in P3, but there's Tiger Assassin coming out the pits. He is now in P3. He's got the same amount of fuel as Zeno, so they should still be fairly similar, at least weight and tyre-wise, but Tiger Assassin might just have tucked into the slipstream of Dutchy and get him away from Zeno. He's now standing though, 2 stands behind him. Bonneville has gotten past Ryan is bad for P6. But I don't think Ryan's bad will have much more to play with in terms of catching him up. We know that Aston Martin is absolutely rocket in a straight line, but only when you can really rev it out and make the most of that power. If he stays down straight, he's losing time, hand over fist. to Bolivar. I think that's going to be P7 at absolute best for Ryan is bad. For the time being though, we still have DM Charles in the lead of this race, a 6.4 second lead, but it doesn't matter for much when the guy behind you is this man, Play Dutchie. We know he's absolute lightning, and he will do the most he can. He'll already go purple through the middle sector to try and catch up to the American in the Corvette. So you look at the bump draft as well from Tiger Assassin as they both head into Big Banky Boy. Zino just behind them, 1.6, 1.7 seconds, 1.8 seconds in P4. But he is just about pulling away from 2 seconds P5 and Bolivar in 6th place. Ryan Bad in 7th place there, got a 7-second advantage to Piero, but can he hold that over the next 7 minutes? On the super soft tyre, we then got Wolfie down in P9 in the Alfa Romeo. Diovis, I think, is still trying to save too much fuel on the one side that's not worked out for him. I think maybe he got quite a short pit lane here at Lago Maggiore, which is why the pit loss wasn't as great as the RT boys might have expected here at the back. And I believe from 10th down, he's just the RT guy. We've got Hoppers, Seth, Lango in P13, and Ed at the back there in 14th place. So really, I think the main squabble is going on back here. Ultimately, the battle for P2, P3, and P4. So you can see that Dutchie's eked out that gap over Zino to 1.2 seconds as he let Tiger Assassin go. Maybe they're both going to have a go at a slipstream train each other. One of them leads and burns the fuel, and the other one saves. Swap over at the next possible chance. We see Zino set the fast lap of the race on that previous lap, but Dutchie wants that back, I'm sure. Already a 10th and a half up, exiting the first sector. But we'll run on board with him if he takes plenty of curb on the inside there, but not too much to cause some of that horrible tyre squirrel that we get on the super soft. Feathering the throttle, balancing the car through that double left apex there, and now widening it out onto the back straight. Has he moved anymore? He has indeed, another 10th taken out of Zino's fastest lap. Here's down now into the Big Banky Boy. Slam on the brakes just at the 50-metre mark there. Taking lots of entry curve there, running nice and wide, but not onto the gravel crucially. Even closer to the slipstream there of Tiger Assassin. Makes his way through the left and then the right-hander here in the 3rd sector. And he gained any more time. He's lost maybe a couple of hundredths there, but it's still a quarter of a second up on the fastest lap. And you could see a 53.5 here, provided Dutchie gets it right. He's sideways with his teammate through second to last corner. That might hamper him a little bit. And Zino, crucially, is now in the slipstream of Play Dutchie, provided he gets this last turn all sorted out. See that Dutchie there had a little bit more momentum and is back out the slipstream than Zino. Dutchie will cross the line. It's sat in 153.6. It's cost him a little bit of time there. But Zino pushing hard as well. Also 153.69. Only 8 thousandths in it, but he's showing Dutchie that I'm not giving up without a fight. Again, back in the slipstream of Dutchie as they head out on the second corner. So Zino really is pushing like absolute mad to keep up with those boys in front. And of course, the more pressure he puts on them, the more likely they are to make a mistake and allow this man, DM Charles, to run away with the race win. He's got 4 minutes left. He's got about a third of a tank of fuel. He's got very good life left in those super soft tyres. So really, I think it's a big race to lose. Still got 5.6 seconds over Tiger Assassin in 2nd place. So provided he keeps it clean, keeps it consistent, this could well be a win tonight for Amigos Racing Team, at least in terms of who's on the top of the podium. As we said, Tiger Assassin in P2 has now slightly dropped Play Dutchie. Maybe he's going to shoot just a little bit, getting back in the slipstream. And Zino is now right up on his tail. Let's get on board there with ART Zino. Heading down the back straight. Is there a move made on the inside? Dutchie keeps the middle of the track. Good thing. Zino can sort of move around the outside and maybe a cutback as he did earlier tonight at the chicane, but no pass here. You can see there two starting to catch up to the back of the pair in the P5. But Zino is not going to let these two go without a fight. And still on the inside of Play Dutchie there. Very aggressive. There's his move to the inside. Has he got it done? He's late on the brakes. Dutchie gives him the space on the inside. He leaves the space on the outside there, side by side through the first right-hander, through the second one. Are they side by side through the left-hander? They are indeed. Dutchie just scraping the grass, leaving Zino's space on the outside. Zino's got nowhere to go. Dutchie will take P3 back, heading onto the last corner, but we're going to have the run on him. think he has indeed got a very good exit out of the last corner. Back in the slipstream, only a tenth separating now, so they head over the line for lap 20. Zino moves out the slipstream, but Dutchy covers the middle line. Zino has to go back to the outside for the first corner. It's a tremendous lap we've seen tonight. We've of course had our moments that are a little bit more concerning, moments that maybe are a little bit more controversial, we'll say. But on the flip side, we have seen some excellent racing, especially from this man here, ART Zino, full of some excellent moves. And I must say that a little cutback overtake through the chicane is definitely my move of the night. Good job for Zino. And another late move there on the inside of Dutchy. He's really trying to force an error from the Black Country racer in the Mercedes there, but no luck. Are we going to see another amazing cutback from him? I don't think so. Dutchy though has slightly missed that apex. Zino much tighter. Managed to have a run from the second right-hander, but he's gone a little bit wide. Will he get a penalty for missing apex? He does indeed. A half-second penalty, but we discussed earlier, the penalties don't have to be taken at any particular point, so he will run that penalty all the way to the finish line if he has to. A little bit ragged on the exit of that right-hander, but now again, right in the diffuser of Dutchy. Dutchy defends to the inside. Zino goes to the outside. He can try and go all the way around, pitching Dutchy to the inside of the Banky boy, but it's not going to happen. This is some amazing racing we're seeing here from these two drivers. Imagine if Max Verstappen could race himself, that would be a sight to behold, absolutely. You know, still though, like a dog with a bone, not letting go of play Dutchy. I'll be inside again, or at least just trying to show that in the mirrors, holds the inside line. Can he make a move now for the second right-hander? Not quite. Dutchy's still just ahead on track, because Zino must concede that place to the Mercedes. But going for another cutback on the inside. Has he got the line now? No, again, Dutchy still just nudging ahead. Dare I say, Dutchy might be feeling some pressure now. He's not a human being I know to collapse under pressure, and I've definitely collapsed under Dutchy pressure. But it seems here that Zino really is putting in the Zinophobia. We're at lap 21 now. This will be the last lap of the race. Has Zino got anything left to fight with against Play Dutchy? We look at their tyres and fuel. Dutchy has got much better tyres and fuel, so really this is his race to lose, following a very un-Dutchy error from him. We'll have to see. We'll ride on board with the Black Country man, and he's now starting to pull away from Zino. Maybe that tyre life is starting to come back to him. Zino tries to take that tyre line early on the cross there from Dutchy. Just get that better traction, but Zino now clawing back at him up the hill. Dutchy lifting off, little dab of the brakes there, onto the inside. Zino still looking for a way past, but now Toussaint is becoming a big threat in the rear view mirror of Zino there. Dutchy running very wide, Toussaint as well I think, but he's going to keep it for the time being though. However, Zino is now only 1.5 tenths behind Dutchy. Dutchy again defends the middle of the track. Zino now the inside. This is where he's got to make his move. They are neck and neck heading into Big Banky Boy. Zino ushers Dutchy to the outside of the track, and he makes the inside pass, but does Dutchy have the traction on the cutback? He does not, and Zino keeps P3 for the time being. Dutchy looking for a move around the outside with the extra grip on the super tyres. He is up the inside of Zino. Is there going to be an accident here? Zino is nudged wide, but given the space, Zino is still ahead on track, but Dutchy is on the inside. He's still side by side through the last corner. This is absolutely fantastic racing from the pair of them. Still side by side through the second to last corner, and they are still going. It is going to be DMC Charles to cross the line first, but this is the battle we're looking at. Dutchy holding it around the outside, Zino on the inside, but I think Dutchy will just have the legs. Amazing driving from this pair. They'll drag to the line, but it will be Dutchy in P3, Zino in 4th, just dropping his penalty to Toussaint in 5th. Goodness me, Bonnie about takes 6th place. You'll see Piero come around the corner there for P7, but again, I think that might be up for some debate, given what we saw from him earlier tonight against Hockers. We've got Ryan's badge, there, crossing the line. Troy's back, just on the rat, running out of fuel there for P8. Wolfie takes the last lead lap there in P9, pitching his penalty. We had Dioris in 10th, Seth in 11th, Hockers 12th, Lango 13th, and Ted MC bringing up the rear. Unfortunately, while I'm not too clued on the points, I'm sure we'll see the points scored later, but for the time being, it is DM Charles on the top step of the podium for Amigos Racing Team. So here are your race results for the second of our 2 races tonight. Black Country Racing in the chat saying, great race, guys. Well, thanks for being good sports. Thanks for teaming up with us for a great event tonight. And I'm sure many of our drivers will be more than happy to give you guys a rematch at some point in the near future. Just it might be worth having a little flick through the replays and maybe talking to some of the guys about some of the moves that were made. Of course, our drivers will be discussing them as well, and we'll talk to ours and see maybe what we thought was fair, what was a bit aggressive. But of course, thank you for taking part with us, and I'm sure I had a great time commentating on it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it back through the Amigos channel and over on Black Country Racing. Please go and check their channel out, give them a subscription as well. I'll quickly drop a message on their video as well. Thanks for hosting and for some great racing. So yeah, please feel free, drop a subscription on their channel as well, check out any of their other videos, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to us for more amazing racing content. I've been SuperSquid. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen this evening, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come in the future. For the time being, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and if I don't catch up with you anytime soon, have an amazing Christmas and a wonderful 2022. We'll see you soon. Take care.